When billionaire Richard Caldwell walked into his private garden that evening, he expected silence. Just the gentle hum of the fountain and the chirping of crickets. But instead, he froze in his tracks. In the moonlit courtyard, his paralyzed daughter Emily was standing. No, not standing. She was swaying, laughing, and right beside her, holding her hands, was Marcus, the family's black chauffeur, dancing like no one in the world was watching. But Richard was watching, and so were the guests arriving for his charity gala. What happened in the next few minutes would shatter the line between wealth and humanity and leave everyone speechless. Richard Caldwell was a man used to control. His sprawling estate in Connecticut was more than just a home. It was a symbol of power. Every blade of grass cut to precision, every marble column polished until it gleamed. He had built his empire from scratch, and along the way he had built walls around his estate and around his heart. The only exception was Emily, his daughter, his fragile reason for living. 2 years ago, an accident had left Emily paralyzed from the waist down. Doctors had told Richard there was little hope for recovery. Since then, Emily had withdrawn from the world, spending most of her days by the large windows in her room, painting the flowers she could no longer walk among. Marcus, the chauffeur, had only been with the family for a year. A quiet, broad-shouldered man in his mid-30s, he had an easy smile and a knack for remembering everyone's favorite coffee order. Most days he kept to himself. But every now and then, Richard would catch Marcus speaking to Emily in a way no one else dared. Not with pity, but with genuine warmth. One Saturday evening, the Caldwell estate was buzzing with preparations. Richard's annual charity gala was hours away, an event where the city's wealthiest gathered, partly to donate, partly to be seen. Marcus had been assigned to drive special guests from the gate to the main house, but as Richard stepped outside to take a call, he noticed the sound of music. It was faint at first, a slow, soulful tune drifting from the courtyard. Curious, he followed it. That's when he saw them. Emily was in her wheelchair, but Marcus was kneeling in front of her, his phone playing a soft jazz melody. "Close your eyes," Marcus was saying, his voice low but clear. "Feel the music, not the wheels. You don't need legs to dance." Emily laughed, a real, unguarded laugh Richard hadn't heard in months. Marcus took her hands, guiding them through the air. Then, slowly, he spun her chair in rhythm, stepping around her, his own body swaying. The scene was so natural, so intimate, that for a moment, Richard forgot to breathe. But it wasn't just Richard watching. Guests had begun arriving. A few paused at the edge of the courtyard, whispering. To them, it wasn't just a chauffeur dancing with his employer's daughter. It was something more. Something they couldn't put into words. Richard stepped forward, his polished shoes clicking against the stone. Marcus looked up, startled, and let go of Emily's hands. "Sir, But Emily cut in, her voice steady. "Dad, Marcus was just helping me feel alive again." There was a pause, the kind of pause where a man decides whether to protect his pride or protect what truly matters. And in that pause, Richard noticed something. Emily's face wasn't just happy. It was glowing. There was life in her eyes again. Richard's jaw tightened. He looked at Marcus, then back at Emily. And finally, he said quietly, "Don't stop the music." The crowd fell silent. Marcus blinked, unsure if he'd heard right. Emily's eyes widened. Richard stepped closer, placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder, and said, "Dance with her. And this time, I'll watch, not as a billionaire, but as a father." And so they danced. Not the kind of dance that wins competitions, but the kind that heals. The kind that reminds you of everything worth living for. By the end of the song, even the guests were wiping away tears. The man with everything had just learned the most valuable lesson of his life. That joy isn't bought, it's shared. From that day on, Marcus was more than a chauffeur. He was family.